Have you ever stepped outside and felt like the sun was personally angry with you? You know that feeling when you say, over Sabi son, you too do. That feeling. But here is the truth. Extreme heat is not just uncomfortable, it is a public health risk. And here in Nigeria, the index is rising fast. That is why the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NiMet, has issued a heat stress warning. This is not just a weather information, this is a health alert. So let's break down what NiMet is asking us to do or not to do. Let's start with the simplest advice. Drink water, plenty of it. When temperatures rise, your body begins to sweat to cool itself. Sweating removes heat, but it also removes water and vital salts from your body. And if you don't replace that water, three things can happen: dehydration, exhaustion, and heat stroke. Heat stroke is extremely dangerous. Your body temperature can rise up to 40 degrees Celsius and the brain can start shutting down. You start having symptoms like dizziness, fainting, confusion, and even seizures. A few years ago, during a severe heat period in northern Nigeria, health workers reported increased hospital visits for dehydration, especially among children and market traders who stay under the sun every day. So if you're waiting until you feel thirsty before drinking water, you are already late. Drink water before your body begins to beg for it. Number two, find air-conditioned or cooler places. Now, this sounds like advice for the rich. Some people will be like, AC care with NEPA. That's a fair concern, but the real message here is cool your body whenever possible, because extreme heat forces your heart to work harder to regulate temperature. If your body cannot cool down, your blood pressure and heart rate increase. This puts elderly people, pregnant women, and people with hypertension at serious risk. So, even short breaks in cooler environments can help your body recover. If you don't have AC, there are alternatives, and they include sitting under the shade, using cross ventilation, staying indoors during peak heat, and using a fan with airflow. Remember, the goal is simple: give your body a break from the heat. 3. Do not leave children in a parked car. This one is extremely serious. Inside a parked car, temperatures can rise 20 degrees hotter than outside within minutes, even if the window is slightly open. Children are especially vulnerable because their bodies heat up faster than adults. Globally, there have been tragic cases where children died from heat stroke inside parked vehicles. Their organs literally shut down. So you may think, I'll just be back within 5 minutes. But heat stroke can begin within minutes. The rule is simple: if the car stops, the child comes out. No exceptions. Number 4, wear hats and sunshades. That's right. This advice is not fashion, it is health protection. Direct sun exposure increases the risk of sunburn, heat stroke, and skin damage. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun can damage skin cells and increase the risk of skin cancer over time. Now, someone will say, black skin no dey burn. That's not completely true. Yes, darker skin has more melanin that gives some protection, but prolonged exposure can still cause skin damage, premature aging, and immune suppression. And talking about the eyes, the sun releases ultraviolet radiation that can damage the eye lens and retina. Over time, this can contribute to cataract, photokeratitis, which is sunburn of the eyes, and long-term vision problem. That is why sunglasses and hats help. They reduce direct radiation entering the eyes and hitting the scalp. Simple protection, huge benefits. Number five, keep infants well aerated and hydrated. Babies cannot regulate heat well because their bodies are still developing. They sweat less efficiently. That is why heat builds up faster inside their bodies. That is why infants can quickly develop dehydration, heat rash, fever, heat exhaustion. Doctors in many Nigerian hospitals report increased infant dehydration cases during heat waves. You know, sometimes love makes parents wrap their children like Christmas gifts. But during this heat season, I beg, free your children small. Number six, wear light and breathable clothing. Again, this is not about fashion. This is about thermodynamics. Dark and thick clothing absorb heat and trap it close to the body. But light colored, loose clothing allows air to circulate and helps sweat evaporate. Because evaporation is how the body naturally cools itself. If clothing traps sweat and heat, your body temperature rises faster. So during extreme heat, choose cotton fabrics and wear breathable clothing, and your body will thank you. And lastly, number seven, reduce physical activities during peak heat window. Peak heat window is usually between 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. During this period, the body loses much water faster and heat exhaustion can occur quickly. In some countries, governments even ban outdoor labor during peak heat hours because of deaths linked to extreme heat. So, if you must walk outside, take breaks, find shades, and drink water frequently. Because this heat no sabi who get more Zulu. You cannot outsmart nature. You know that. Let me leave you with this. Heat stress is not something we should joke about. Climate change is making heat waves more frequent and more intense across Africa. We must be intentional about protecting our health in a warming world. If you look at what we have discussed very closely, you will realize that prevention is not complicated. Drink water. Rest when the sun is angry. Protect your children, protect your skin. Because in this heat season, Sense is the best sunscreen. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and take heat warnings seriously. I remain Oguze Solomon, your environmental and climate activist, and most importantly, your moral cheerleader. Thank you.